The rain had stopped only moments before sunset. A cold wind swept through the narrow streets of Qinghe village. Merchants hurried to close their shops, mothers called their children indoors, and old men lowered their heads whenever they looked toward the largest building in town, the Golden Tiger Tea House. Its red lanterns glowed like blood in the evening light. Years ago, it had been a place of laughter and music. Travelers gathered there to tell stories, and farmers celebrated good harvests inside its wooden walls. Now, it belonged to fear. Two enormous brothers ruled the tea house. The elder brother Bao was called Iron Fist. His hands were so large that people claimed he could crush stones. The younger brother Kang was called Mountain Bear. He was even bigger than Bao, and enjoyed hurting people simply because he could. No one dared oppose them. Inside the tea house, dozens of villagers sat quietly around wooden tables. Nobody spoke, nobody smiled. They ate and drank in complete silence. At the center of the room sat a young woman wearing a faded crimson dress. Her name was May. She trembled. Tears rolled down her cheeks. Beside her lay an empty medicine bag. Bao slowly walked around her. "You borrowed money from us." May nodded. "My father is sick. I needed medicine." Bao grinned. "And now?" "I don't have anything left." The entire room became silent. Kang laughed. It was the laugh of a monster. Then he grabbed May's hair. She cried out. Several villagers flinched. None of them moved. Kang dragged her toward the table. "Your debt must be paid." "Please," she begged. Bao sat across from her. "You have two choices." May looked at him. "You can work for us forever, or entertain us tonight." The entire room froze. An old man clenched his fists. A mother covered her son's eyes. May's face turned pale. "No," she whispered. Kang suddenly forced a bottle toward her mouth. "Drink!" She tried to resist. He squeezed harder. The bottle hit her lips. She choked. Tears poured down her face. Still nobody moved. The brothers laughed, and then the front door opened. The sound was soft, almost too soft. Everyone turned. A young man stood in the doorway. He wore simple black clothes. Rainwater still dripped from his sleeves. He looked ordinary. Yet somehow, the entire room felt different. He said nothing. He simply stood there. Bao frowned. "Who are you?" No answer. The stranger walked forward. Step, step, step. Every footstep echoed through the room. Kang laughed. "Another idiot." The stranger's eyes moved toward May. She looked terrified. Then he looked at the brothers. Still, he did not speak. Bao stood. "Are you deaf?" The stranger finally spoke. His voice was calm. "No." "Then answer me." The young man looked directly into Bao's eyes. "I heard enough." The room became still. Bao smiled. "You know these people?" "No." "You know the girl?" "No." "Then why are you staring at us?" The stranger slowly removed his wet gloves. "Because two men are forcing fear upon an entire room." Kang burst into laughter. "And what are you going to do about it?" The stranger placed his gloves on a table. "I came to drink tea." He looked at May. "But now, I have changed my mind." Bao grinned. "You must be very brave." "No." The stranger's eyes became sharp. "I simply dislike bullies." For some reason, a chill ran through the room. Kang released May and stood. He towered over the young man. Nearly everyone believed the stranger would die. Kang smiled. "What is your name?" The young man looked at him. "Bruce." Several travelers gasped. One old merchant's eyes widened. Bruce Lee, the wandering martial artist. Stories about him had spread across provinces. Some called him a genius. Some called him a ghost. Others said he could defeat 10 men alone. Bao laughed loudly. "So, you're Bruce Lee?" He looked around. "Does this little man frighten any of you?" Nobody answered. Bruce calmly poured himself a cup of tea. He drank it. Then he sighed. "Not bad." The brothers stared. Bruce looked at Kang. "Let the girl go." Kang laughed. "No." Bruce put the cup down. "I wasn't asking." Kang's smile disappeared. Without warning, he swung his fist. It was massive, fast, powerful. Everyone screamed. Bruce moved. A blur. Whoosh! The fist missed. Before Kang could react, thud! Bruce's palm struck his chest. Kang stumbled backward. Silence. Nobody could believe it. Bruce stood exactly where he had been, as if he had never moved. Kang blinked. Then anger exploded inside him. He roared and charged. This time he attacked with both fists. Whoosh! Whoosh! Bruce slipped between them like flowing water. Left, right, turn, step. He moved beautifully, almost like dancing. Kang became even angrier. He attacked again, and again, and again. Nothing. He could not touch him. Bruce's face remained calm. Then, crack! A kick struck Kang's knee. The giant grunted. Crack! An elbow hit his ribs. Crack! A punch hit his jaw. Kang staggered. His eyes widened. Nobody had ever hit him like this. Bruce suddenly appeared directly in front of him. Their faces were inches apart. Bruce spoke softly. "You rely only on strength." Kang growled. Bruce shook his head. "Strength without control is useless." Then, bam! A lightning-fast punch. Kang flew backward. He crashed into a table. Wood exploded. People jumped to their feet. Silence. The giant did not rise. Everyone stared. Bruce exhaled slowly. Bao's smile was gone. He looked at his unconscious brother, then at Bruce. For the first time, he looked afraid. But only for a second. Then rage consumed him. He picked up a wooden chair. "You'll die for this!" he charged. Bruce remained still. Closer, closer, closer. Then, crash! The chair shattered, but not against Bruce, against empty air. Bruce had vanished. Bao's eyes widened. A voice came from behind him. "You are too slow." Bao turned. Bruce's fist struck. Bam! Another strike. Bam! Another. Bam! Punches came from every direction. The giant could not defend himself. He swung wildly. Nothing. Bruce's movements were impossible to follow. Suddenly, Bruce leaped. His foot spun through the air. Crack! The kick struck Bao's temple. The giant fell onto one knee. Bruce landed. Everyone held their breath. Bao looked up, his face twisted with hatred. Then, he smiled. A terrible smile. Bruce noticed. Something was wrong, very wrong. The giant slowly wiped blood from his mouth. Then he looked toward the back of the tea house and clapped. Once, twice, 3 times. The room became silent. A few seconds passed. Then, creak! A hidden door opened. Dark figures emerged from the shadows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then more. 10 men. Each carried weapons. Each wore black uniforms. Each had the same symbol on their sleeves. A silver tiger. The villagers gasped. Fear spread across the room. Even May stopped crying. Bao smiled through bloody teeth. "You made a mistake, Bruce Lee." Bruce said nothing. One of the men stepped forward. A scar crossed his face. His eyes were cold. He looked directly at Bruce. Then he smiled. "We've been looking for you." Bruce's expression changed slightly. He recognized the symbol, the silver tiger. A memory flashed inside his mind: fire, smoke, blood, and his old master's voice. "Run, Bruce." The memory vanished. The scarred man slowly drew his sword. "We finally found you." The lanterns flickered. The room suddenly felt colder. Bruce slowly clenched his fists, and for the first time since entering the tea house, his eyes filled with anger. The hidden door remained open. Cold air drifted into the tea house. 10 men stood in complete silence. They looked less like ordinary fighters and more like hunters who had finally cornered their prey. Each wore black robes and leather arm guards. Each carried a different weapon. One held a long spear. Another carried twin swords. One had chains wrapped around his waist. Another gripped iron hooks. Their eyes never left Bruce Lee. The scar-faced man stepped forward. His voice was low and calm. "We searched for 3 years." Bruce said nothing. "We searched mountains." Silence. "We searched villages." Silence. "We searched every province in the south." The man's smile widened. "And now, you walked directly into our hands." The villagers looked at Bruce. Who were these people? Why were they hunting him? May slowly stood. Her hands still trembled. "Who are they?" Bruce's eyes remained on the men. Finally he spoke. "The Silent Fury Brotherhood." The room seemed to become colder. Several old villagers gasped. They had heard the stories. A secret group. Merciless killers, extortionists, assassins. Entire villages had disappeared after refusing to obey them. Children were frightened with stories about the Silent Fury Brotherhood, yet nobody had ever seen them. Until tonight. The scar-faced man nodded. "Good." He slowly unsheathed his sword. "You remember us." Bruce's jaw tightened. "I remember enough." The man smiled. "And your master?" Silence. A dangerous silence. The man continued. "Do you remember him begging for your life?" Every villager looked at Bruce. Something changed inside him. The calm in his eyes slowly disappeared. A memory appeared. Rain. Fire. A small temple. His old master standing between him and a group of black-clothed men. The old man was injured. Blood covered his clothes. He looked at young Bruce. "Run." "But master—" "Run!" Then the Brotherhood attacked. Bruce never saw his master again. The memory vanished. The scar-faced man grinned. "He fought bravely." Silence. "He broke 2 of my ribs." Silence. "Then he died." Nothing moved. Nobody breathed. The lanterns crackled softly. Bruce lowered his eyes. For several seconds, nobody could read his expression. Then he slowly looked up. His eyes had changed. They were no longer calm. They burned. The scar-faced man smiled. "There it is." Silence. I wanted to see that look again. Bruce spoke quietly. What is your name? The man seemed surprised. You don't remember? No. The man laughed. I am Han. Bruce nodded. I'll remember it. Han's smile slowly faded. Something in Bruce's voice disturbed him. Suddenly, Bao shouted, Kill him! Nobody moved. Han raised one hand. The giant immediately became quiet. Han never took his eyes off Bruce. I'll make this simple. He pointed toward May. Give yourself to us, and everyone in this room lives. Silence. Refuse, and everyone dies. Fear exploded across the tea house. Several villagers began crying. One old woman fell to her knees. A young boy grabbed his mother's arm. May looked horrified. No! Bruce remained still. Han continued, We know who you are. Silence. We know what you can do. Silence. But even a dragon cannot protect everyone. The 10 fighters slowly spread out. They surrounded the room. There was nowhere to run. May looked at Bruce. She expected fear. Instead, he sighed. Han frowned. Bruce looked disappointed. Han narrowed his eyes. What? Bruce glanced around. I thought there would be more. Silence. The villagers blinked. Han blinked. What did you say? Bruce looked directly at him. I said, I thought there would be more. The entire tea house froze. One of the Brotherhood members became furious. You arrogant fool! He charged. He carried twin axes. He moved incredibly fast. Villagers screamed. The fighter raised both weapons. Bruce did not move. The axes came down. Whoosh! Suddenly, Bruce stepped forward, not backward, forward. He entered the man's attack. The axes missed completely. Bruce's fist exploded upward. Bam! The man lifted off the floor. The axes flew from his hands. Before he landed, bam! A side kick struck his ribs. Crack! The sound echoed through the room. The man crashed through a table and stopped moving. Silence. Nobody blinked. It had happened too quickly. Bruce exhaled. 9 remained. Han's smile disappeared. Another fighter attacked. This one carried a spear. He thrust. Whoosh! Again. Whoosh! Again. The spear moved like lightning. Bruce retreated. Step, step, step. The spearman smiled. Afraid? Bruce looked at him. No. Suddenly, he rushed forward. The spearman's eyes widened. Bruce slapped the spear aside. Then again. Then again. His hands moved so quickly they seemed invisible. Pack, pack, pack. The spear's rhythm completely collapsed. The spearman panicked. Bruce stepped inside. An elbow struck the man's chest. Bam! A punch hit his throat. Bam! A kick struck his stomach. Bam! The fighter collapsed. 8 remained. Nobody spoke. The villagers stared as though they were witnessing something supernatural. Bruce slowly turned. The remaining Brotherhood members no longer looked confident. Han's eyes narrowed. Together, at once, 8 men attacked. The tea house exploded into chaos. A chain flew toward Bruce. Whoosh! A sword came from behind. Whoosh! Iron hooks slashed toward his face. Whoosh! Bruce moved. Everything became motion. He ducked beneath the chain, spun around the sword, leaped over a sweeping kick, landed on a table. Two fighters charged. Bruce kicked the table. Crash! The heavy wood slammed into them. They fell. A chain wrapped around Bruce's arm. The fighter smiled. "I got him." Bruce looked at him. "No." With one violent movement, Bruce pulled. The fighter flew through the air. The man screamed. Bruce released the chain. The fighter crashed into another Brotherhood member. Both collapsed. 4 remained. A swordsman attacked. Bruce dodged. Again. The blade missed him by inches. The villagers could hardly follow his movements. Then, Bruce trapped the man's wrist, twisted. Crack! The sword dropped. Bruce caught it, turned. The flat side of the blade struck another fighter. Bam! The man flew backward. Another kick, another punch, another elbow. Within seconds, only one fighter remained standing. The room became silent. Bodies lay everywhere. Broken tables covered the floor. Lanterns swayed. Dust floated through the air. Bruce stood in the center, breathing steadily, not even sweating. The last fighter looked terrified. He slowly backed away. Han stared. Even he seemed shocked. The last fighter suddenly screamed and charged. Bruce moved once. One punch. Bam! The man collapsed. Silence. Absolute silence. 10 men, defeated. The villagers looked at Bruce as though they were seeing a legend come alive. Even Bao and Kang looked frightened. Han slowly smiled. Then he began laughing. The sound echoed through the tea house. Bruce watched him. "You laugh?" Han nodded. "Excellent." Silence. "Excellent." He slowly removed his outer robe. Underneath it was black armor. Scars covered his arms, old scars, battle scars. Han picked up his sword. Then he threw it away. Clang. Everyone looked confused. Han slowly tightened the bandages around his fists. "I hoped the stories were true." Bruce's eyes narrowed. Han took one step forward. The wooden floor creaked beneath him. Then another, and another. For the first time that night, Bruce's expression changed. Slightly. Han noticed. He smiled. "Now you recognize me." A memory flashed inside Bruce's mind. Rain. The burning temple. A young fighter with scarred cheeks. A man who had fought his master. A man whose punches sounded like thunder. Bruce slowly spoke. "You survived." Han smiled. "Barely." Silence. "But tonight, I finish what we started." The lanterns flickered again. Outside, thunder rolled across the sky, and then Han disappeared. He moved so fast that even the villagers lost sight of him. Suddenly, bam! Bruce blocked a punch. The impact shook the entire table beside them. Bruce's eyes widened. Han smiled. Then his second punch came. Bruce barely blocked the punch. The impact felt like a hammer striking steel. For the first time that night, he slid backward. A table shattered behind him. The villagers gasped. Han smiled. "You remember now." Bruce said nothing. Han attacked again. Bam! Another punch. Bruce blocked. Again, he was pushed backward. Han's speed was astonishing. He was not as fast as Bruce, but he was far stronger than any opponent Bruce had faced in years. Han suddenly spun. Whoosh! A kick cut through the air. Bruce ducked. The kick smashed directly into a wooden pillar. Crack! The thick pillars split. Half of the tea house trembled. Several lanterns fell. People screamed. Bruce looked at the broken pillar, then at Han. Han grinned. Surprised? Bruce slowly straightened. No. Han frowned. Bruce's eyes sharpened. I finally understand why my master considered you dangerous. Han's smile widened. I defeated dozens of masters. Silence. I broke warriors. Silence. I burned temples. Silence. And tonight, his expression darkened. I kill his last student. He charged. Boom! Their fists collided. The impact echoed throughout the room. Bruce immediately struck. Punch, palm, elbow, kick. His attacks came like lightning. Han blocked again, then countered. The two men became blurs. Nobody could follow them. Villagers stared in disbelief. They had never seen anything like this. Every strike sounded like thunder. Bam, bam, bam! Wood splintered, tables exploded, dust filled the air. Han suddenly landed a punch. Bam! Bruce flew backward. He crashed through a chair. May screamed. Bruce! Bruce immediately stood. A thin line of blood appeared at the corner of his mouth. The room froze. Blood. Bruce Lee was bleeding. Han laughed. You can bleed after all. Bruce wiped his lip. He looked at the blood, then looked at Han. Han raised his fists. Come. Bruce slowly inhaled. The entire room became quiet. Then he closed his eyes. Everyone looked confused. Even Han frowned. Bruce simply stood there, completely still. A memory surfaced. The old temple, a peaceful garden, his master sitting beneath a tree. Young Bruce was angry. I want to become stronger. His master smiled. Why? So nobody can defeat me. The old man shook his head. Wrong. Young Bruce frowned. What do you mean? His master stood. The purpose of strength is not to defeat people. Then what is it? The old man placed his hand on Bruce's shoulder. The purpose of strength is to protect life. The memory faded. Bruce opened his eyes. The anger was gone. The rage had vanished. Now he was calm. Completely calm. Han frowned. What are you smiling at? Bruce looked at him. I finally remembered something important. Han's expression darkened. You think you can beat me? Bruce slowly raised his hands. I don't need to beat you. Silence. I only need to stop you. Han roared. He attacked. This time he gave everything. A storm of punches exploded toward Bruce. 1, 2, 3, 10, 20. The villagers could no longer count. But suddenly, something strange happened. Bruce was no longer retreating. He flowed. Every movement became effortless. He slipped around punches, turned with kicks, redirected attacks. He moved like water. Han struck harder, faster, wilder. Nothing landed. Bruce's body seemed impossible to touch. Han became furious. He attacked with all his strength. Bruce avoided everything. May stared in amazement. The old merchant whispered, He's dancing. And it truly looked that way. Bruce moved like a man listening to music nobody else could hear. Han threw another punch. Bruce turned. The fist missed. Another punch, missed. Another, missed. Han's breathing became heavy. Sweat covered his face. Bruce looked perfectly calm. Then Bruce spoke. You fight with anger. Han attacked, missed. You fight with hate. Another attack, missed. You fight to destroy. Another attack, missed. Han roared, Stop talking! He launched his strongest punch. Bruce moved. A single step, nothing more. Hans' fist missed completely. Because of his own momentum, he stumbled. For one tiny moment, his defense disappeared. Bruce saw it. The opening. But he did not attack. Han regained his balance. He looked shocked. "You could have hit me." Bruce nodded. "Yes." "Then why didn't you?" Silence. "Why?" Bruce looked directly into his eyes. "Because you're already defeating yourself." The words struck harder than any punch. Han stared. For the first time, he hesitated. Then his face twisted with rage. He screamed and charged. Bruce sighed. "I tried." Han's fist came forward. Bruce moved. Pack! He slapped the punch aside. Another punch. Pack! Another. Pack! Another. Pack! Each movement was small, simple, perfect. Han's eyes widened. Bruce stepped forward. For the first time, Han retreated. Bruce struck. Bam! A palm hit Han's chest. The giant staggered. Bruce advanced. Bam! A punch to the ribs. Bam! An elbow. Bam! A kick. Han stumbled backward. His breathing became ragged. Fear slowly appeared in his eyes. Bruce kept moving. His attacks were precise, controlled, merciless. Han suddenly realized something terrible. Bruce had not been serious before, not even once. Everything until now had merely been testing him. Panic appeared on Han's face. He roared and charged one final time. Bruce waited. Closer, closer, closer. At the last second, Bruce disappeared. Han's eyes widened. Where? Then, a voice behind him. Too much anger. Han turned. Too late. Bam! A punch hit his ribs. Crack! Bam! Another. Crack! Bam! A spinning kick. Han flew across the room. He crashed through 2 tables. Wood exploded everywhere. Silence. The giant tried to stand. He could not. Bruce slowly approached. Han looked up. Fear filled his eyes. "You—" Bruce stopped. Han coughed blood. No one should be this fast." Bruce looked at him quietly. The villagers watched. Nobody spoke. Then Han smiled. It was a strange smile. Bruce's eyes narrowed. Again, something was wrong. Han slowly laughed, then laughed harder. Bruce looked around. The surviving Brotherhood members were smiling too. Even Bao and Kang were smiling. Mei became nervous. Why are they laughing? Han looked directly at Bruce. Because this fight, he coughed, was only a test. Silence. Bruce's expression changed. Han's smile widened. You really don't know. What? Han laughed. We were never hunting you. The room became cold. Bruce stared at him. Then why come here? Han slowly pointed toward Mei. Because of her. Every eye turned toward the young woman. She froze. What? Han smiled. The girl knows nothing. Silence. But her father, he laughed, has something our leader wants. Bruce frowned. What? Han's smile became even darker. The dragon scroll. Silence. Every expression disappeared from Bruce's face. Han saw it, and he laughed again. Oh, now you remember. Outside, thunder shook the sky. Rain began falling once more. Han's eyes burned. Our leader has waited 20 years for the dragon scroll. Bruce remained perfectly still. Han's voice became soft. And he is coming. Silence. He is coming tonight. A sudden gust of wind burst through the tea house. The lanterns flickered. Then, the front doors slowly opened by themselves. Everyone turned. A dark figure stood outside in the rain. Nobody had seen him approach. Nobody had heard footsteps. He simply appeared. The stranger slowly lifted his head, and for the first time that night, Bruce Lee looked genuinely shocked. Rain poured from the night sky. The doors of the Golden Tiger Tea House stood open. Cold wind swept through the room. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. The dark figure outside remained perfectly still. Water dripped from the edge of his bamboo hat. Lightning flashed. For a brief second, his face became visible. Bruce's eyes widened. Impossible. The figure slowly removed the hat. Gasps filled the tea house. The man looked around 50 years old. Long silver hair rested upon his shoulders. A scar crossed his left eye. His expression was calm, too calm. Then he smiled. "Bruce!" The voice struck him like lightning. A memory exploded inside his mind. A burning temple, a dark night, a younger man with black hair standing among the flames, a man carrying a sword, the same scar, the same eyes. Bruce whispered, "Shen." The man stepped inside. The villagers looked confused. Han, Bao, and Kang all lowered their heads, like servants greeting a king. The room became silent. Shen looked at Bruce. "You've grown." Bruce stared. 3 years. For 3 years he had believed this man was dead. For 3 years he had searched for answers. And now the man stood right in front of him, alive. Shen smiled gently. "I wondered what expression you would make when we met again." Bruce's fists slowly tightened. "You murdered my master." Shen's smile disappeared. "No." Silence. "He murdered himself." Anger flashed through Bruce's eyes. Han laughed from the floor. "He still doesn't know." Bruce looked at him. Shen slowly walked forward. "I never wanted to kill your master." Bruce said nothing. "He was my friend." The room froze. "What?" Shen nodded. "We trained together." Silence. "We ate together." Silence. "We dreamed together." Bruce frowned. Shen's eyes looked distant. "When we were young, your master and I searched for something. The dragon's scroll." Bruce's expression hardened. Shen smiled. "He told you about it?" Bruce remained silent. "He didn't." The smile vanished. "Because he feared it." Rain struck the windows. Shen slowly turned toward one of the broken tables. "The dragon scroll is older than kingdoms." Silence. "It contains knowledge passed from master to master." Silence. "A martial art so complete that the body and mind become one." The villagers listened in silence. Shen looked directly at Bruce. "We searched for it for 10 years. Then one day," his voice darkened, "we found it." Silence. "But your master betrayed me." Bruce frowned. "He hid it." Silence. "He claimed the world wasn't ready." Shen's eyes burned. "He called me dangerous." Thunder rolled outside. Bruce spoke quietly. Maybe he was right. The room became silent. Shen looked at him. Then he laughed softly. I hoped you would say that. Bruce narrowed his eyes. Shen stepped closer. You sound exactly like him. Silence. He also believed power should protect people. Silence. He also believed violence should be avoided. Shen's face slowly darkened. And he was wrong. His voice suddenly echoed throughout the tea house. Look around! Everyone flinched. People are weak, he pointed at the villagers. They obey monsters because they are afraid. Silence. The world belongs to strength. Silence. The powerful rule. He looked directly at Bruce. They always have. Bruce stared at him, then slowly shook his head. No. Shen's eyes narrowed. Bruce looked around the room. The frightened villagers, May, the crying child, the injured old merchant. Then he looked back at Shen. Strength exists to protect people who cannot protect themselves. Silence. Shen smiled. You truly are his student. Bruce slowly raised his fists. And you are the reason he died. The smile disappeared. Rain hammered against the roof. For several seconds nobody moved. Then, Shen removed his outer robe. The villagers gasped. Scars covered his body, countless scars, years of battle, years of violence, years of war. Shen looked at Bruce. I wanted to meet you because I was curious. Silence. I wanted to see whether you inherited his talent. Silence. I have my answer. He raised his hands. You did. The room seemed to grow colder. Then Shen smiled. Now entertain me. He moved. Nobody saw him move. One moment, he stood 20 feet away. The next, BAM! Bruce blocked a palm strike. The entire floor shook. Bruce's eyes widened. Shen attacked again. BAM! Again. BAM! Again. BAM! Bruce retreated. 1 step, 2 steps, 5 steps. He had never experienced such speed. Never. Shen smiled. Disappointed? Bruce attacked. Punch, kick, elbow, palm. Nothing landed. Nothing. Shen moved effortlessly, like smoke, like wind. Then, BAM! A palm struck Bruce's chest. He flew backward. The villagers screamed. Bruce crashed through a table. Silence. May's face turned pale. Bruce! He stood slowly. Pain spread through his body. Shen looked almost amused. I understand now. Silence. Your master taught you kindness. He smiled. He should have taught you fear. Bruce inhaled deeply. For the first time that night, he felt pressure. Real pressure. Shen slowly approached. You cannot defeat me. Bruce said nothing. I surpassed your master years ago. Silence. I surpassed every master. Silence. And now, he stopped. I will surpass you. The room became quiet. Bruce looked down. He remembered his master's voice. The purpose of strength is to protect life. The words echoed in his mind. Then another memory appeared, a younger Bruce, training, falling, standing, failing, learning. His master's smile, his master's patience, and finally, his master's last words. Do not become my revenge, become my hope. Bruce slowly lifted his head. The anger disappeared, the pain disappeared, even fear disappeared. Shen frowned. Something had changed. Bruce looked completely calm. Then he smiled. A small smile. Shen narrowed his eyes. "Why are you smiling?" Bruce looked directly at him. "Because I finally understand." Silence. "My master never hid the dragon scroll." Shen frowned. "What?" Bruce smiled again. "He destroyed it." The room froze. Shen did not move. He knew knowledge means nothing without wisdom. Silence. "He knew people like you would use it for power." The rain seemed to stop. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Then Shen laughed, at first softly, then louder, then louder. Suddenly, he stopped. His face changed. His eyes became terrifying. "You lie." Bruce shook his head. "No, you lie." His voice exploded through the tea house. Bruce remained calm. "He protected the world from you." Silence. "He succeeded." For several seconds, nothing happened. Then Shen screamed. A scream filled with 20 years of rage. He attacked. Everything exploded. Punches, kicks, palms, elbows. He attacked like a storm, like a man trying to destroy the world itself. Bruce moved, not with anger, not with hatred, but with complete focus. The battle became beautiful. Two masters, one consumed by power, the other guided by purpose. Shen attacked. Bruce flowed around him, again, again, again. The villagers watched in disbelief. It looked like water fighting fire. Then Shen threw one final attack, his strongest, his fastest. His entire body moved forward. Bruce saw it, the opening, one moment, one breath, one chance. He stepped inside. Pack! He redirected the attack. Shen's balance disappeared. Bruce turned. His fist moved, not with anger, not with revenge, with purpose. Bam! The punch struck Shen's chest. Silence. The entire tea house became still. Shen looked down, then at Bruce. His eyes widened. His legs weakened. He slowly fell to his knees. Rain continued outside. Nobody moved. Shen looked at Bruce. For the first time, there was no anger in his eyes, only sadness. "Your master," his voice trembled, "was right." Silence. Bruce said nothing. A tear rolled down Shen's face, then another. "I wasted my life." The room remained silent. Shen slowly looked upward. Rainwater dripped from the broken roof. He smiled sadly. "We were brothers once." Bruce looked at him. "I know." Shen closed his eyes. "I can almost hear him laughing at me." Silence. Then he slowly collapsed onto the floor, unconscious. Nobody moved. For several long seconds, there was only the sound of rain. Then the old merchant stood. Then another villager. Then another. One by one, they all looked at Bruce Lee. Not with fear, not because he was the strongest man in the room, but because he had risked everything for people he had never met. May slowly approached him. Tears filled her eyes. "You saved us." Bruce looked around. The frightened villagers were smiling. The little boy who had hidden behind his mother was smiling too. Bruce finally smiled. "No." He looked at everyone. "We saved each other." Outside, dawn slowly began to rise. The rain stopped, and for the first time in many years, laughter returned to the Golden Tiger Tea House.